Glasses in session, MLB hitting the book show Tuesday, June 3rd. Ian Cameron and Connor Mack with you, ready to break it all down. It's a big card. Let's just dive right in. We will begin with Colorado and Miami. We've got Chase Dollander and Sandy Alcantara on the mound in this one. Miami minus 180, home favorites, 8.5 the total here in this game. I'll tell you what, Alcantara has not been very good, and that is putting it mildly for the Miami Marlins. It's not the Alcantara that we remember years ago. Looked like he was coming into his own as one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's been a rough go. I mean, what can you say? The last 5 starts, he's given up a grand total of 25 runs in his last 24-plus innings. So he's given up more than a run per inning. That's not good. You definitely don't want to see that. And Alcantara's definitely had his struggles. Can the Rockies finally have their, well, they did awaken last night, and finally a win for the Rockies on the road, 6-4 against the Miami Marlins. Can they keep it going here? I mean, the Rockies team total over. How can you not be interested with just how awful things have been going for Alcantara? The team total is only 3.5, minus 125, minus 130. I like it. I like Rockies team total over 3.5. They should get a little confidence that they scored 6 runs, which is a high-scoring outburst for them. Alcantara's just a mess right now. So I lean full game over, too, because I think the Marlins might be able to score as well. And yesterday went over. I could see this one going over as well, but I like the Rockies team total over even more. 3.5, pretty good value. I'm going to take a chance that they can figure it out today. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I just don't think, even this Marlins team should be favored like this again here at home. Minus one now with the good old Sandy. Just hasn't been there. I don't know. We've hit on it, and it just seems like start after start, nothing's really changing. Dollander, times that good stuff. The last few starts have been pretty good. I don't know if he, doesn't give up some here today. Can this get over again? I don't know, but I think the value here again is Rockies. I'll take them here too. Plus, if first 5, give me a shot here to score a few off a Sandy. I think there's value again with him.
Yeah, I agree. I lean Rocky. I went team total with him, but money line, certainly you're getting a good price here in the plus 150 range in this one. All right, Astros, Pirates. We've got Paul Skeens for the Pirates, Lance McCullers Jr. for the Astros. Pittsburgh minus 160, home favorite, 7 the total. I'm going to be brief here and just say it's a pass. I didn't bet this game, didn't get close to betting it. I'm not laying minus 160 with Pittsburgh, not the right price or value for Skeens. And I don't want anything to do with McCullers. I need to see more before I'm ready to trust him. So pretty easy pass here. C-Mac, how about you? Houston, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't have a bet here. I looked at this under. It's the only way, I looked at it a bunch. What do we get from McCullers? I think he's been pretty good, after the horrible game he had and the fucking death threats and all that. Yeah. Hoopla. Now he's got to have everyone watch his family.
Calm down.
That's crazy. I mean, I know shit. It's like, I don't even know. Like, that's crazy. It's a whole nother thing. But I think Skeens could pitch well here at home. So, yeah, I think it's under. But we have a 7. We're going to get that in Skeens. And you talked about just not a lot of value. Pittsburgh bats, for, on the road there on that trip, woke up playing a little bit better baseball. I know they blew it on Sunday. But, you basically get Pirates like first 5 minus that. I don't know if that's really, even with Skeens on the mound, how much I really want to do that. So, I had nothing to lean under.
All right, next up, it's the Cubs and the Nats. We've got Horton versus Williams on the mound here. Cubs minus 140, road favorites, 9 being the total here in this one. Not much to say in the positive for Trevor Williams, although I should say he was really good his last start. I don't know if I'm going to bank on him again to pitch well, but he was good against Seattle, 3-hit shutout, 6 innings. He was brutal before that. I need to see more. Keep in mind his last 2 home starts here in Washington, he's given up 9 runs in 9.2 innings. It's not very good. So I need to see Trevor Williams pitch well before I'm ready to back him. We'll see what we get from Cade Horton, who's actually had 2 pretty solid starts in a row. It's a very warm night. I lean to some combination here of Cubs team total over 4.5 and or the full game over 9. I think the ball could be carrying a little bit. A very warm, humid night in Washington. Yeah. So I would look at a Cubs team total and a over and a full game over split probably here in this game. C-Mac, Cubs, Nats.
I think I think there's runs in this one. I definitely want to be on, especially after Williams pitching a good game. Like, it's like, and being on that, his last start. Horton, though, I mean he's 2-0 here at 4. He's been good up, but I think the Nats could get to him a little bit. I think both teams could score runs. I just looked at this game. When I did it, I think you could go a little bit to the props with runs. I talk about the Cubs, how you can look at Suzuki, PCA. Everyone's been pretty good, even down to Swanson and Horner. But I think the Nats here, James Wood. How can you not? The wood that makes it good. Kenny Rogers roaster. This guy's tearing it up. His RBI, I think, is plus 180, plus 175, and the homer plus 425. So I'm on that in this game.
All right, good stuff. On we go to the Bronx.
Next
up, we've got Guardians and Yankees. Tanner Bybee and Carlos Rodon, the pitching matchup here. Yankees minus 200, 8 the total. Rodon, what can you say? I mean, I didn't see this coming, him to be this good, but boy, oh boy. Other than one kind of rough start in Sacramento, where there's a lot of pitchers that have had their worst start of the year there in that little bandbox. Other than that, he's given up 1 run in his last, 24 innings. If you throw out the one start against the A's, I mean, he's been almost unhittable, Rodon. So very, very tough to go against him. He's 3-0, by the way, since the start of last year against the Cleveland Guardians. That's something to keep in mind. So he's dominated this team as well. Bybee is, he's become one good, one bad. That's been the pattern with his starts. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad in his last start against the Dodgers, good before that against Detroit, bad before that against Cincinnati. So if he follows the pattern, he might be good tonight because he's coming off a bad start against the Dodgers. Yeah. He's actually pitched well against the Yankees since the start of last year. 3 runs or less, 7 runs in 13 innings. That's not bad. Could be an under here. Certainly I would lean that way. Something like Cleveland team total under, full game under. I haven't bet much in this game, but I would certainly lean in those 2 directions. C-Mac, by the way, Guardians team total here is 3.5. So the under might be worth a look for Cleveland with their team total. C-Mac, what do you think?
I think you look at the team total, the 3.5, I think it's just too much juice for me. It's right around 145 because I do like that. You could do the 2.5 and get good plus money. Or the 1.5 first 5, I think it's right around even money. I like kind of all those. I mean, and then the flip side, for like the Yankees, you could go roll with them. Run line. I don't Bybee, it's just been a yo-yo, like you talked about. It's like good, bad. So this is going to have a solid game. And Rodon's been excellent. Guardians just haven't hit lefties well. Haven't really hit great on the road. And all year long, they're right around 20th, 22nd. So, I just don't think they get a ton of runs here. Rodon. Yankees off there after the long trip. Day off. Yep. Yeah, sleepy maybe under. Like
Sleepy, that. Yes, that's a possibility. The good news is you mentioned it, the day off. That probably does help them.
Helps a little bit, but it's still like you get routine. I guess that's a little bit better because if you don't have the routine, it takes the second day. That's why those first days are always so good. We talk about it in the NBA too.
Yeah. Certainly no given they're going to be sharp here, the Yankees. So it feels like a sleepy under spot all around. It very well could be. All right, next up as we continue along here, it's the Phillies and the Jays. Phillies minus 135, road favorites in Toronto, and the total here sitting at 8.5 across the board. Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies and Bowden Francis for the Jays. This is another one. I think I mentioned this same kind of betting approach for me in the Cubs game, where I like probably a team total over, full game over split is kind of what I'm looking at. I think the Phillies can get over 4.5. I don't trust Bowden Francis. Bowden Francis does not have a good home ERA, by the way, at the Rogers Center. So that could be a bit of an issue for him. Now, he has pitched a little bit better, but still home runs are an issue. There's a lot of power in this Phillies lineup. I could see the Phillies being able to do some damage. So and the Jays bullpen, you're never sure what you're going to get from it. So Phillies team total over 4.5. I think that's a solid look. Full game, I think, can go over. I'm a little bit more concerned. The Jays hit Christopher Sanchez, who's a pretty solid pitcher, but I still think it can go over the total. They've been better a little bit lately against lefties, and the lineup has been cooking. Now, a lot of that was the A's, pretty bad pitching. They did feast on a horrific pitching staff. Maybe that's skewing things a little bit for the Blue Jays entering this series, but still their lineup's in good form. Vladdy's starting to hit. Bichette's been on a roll. How about fucking Addison Barger? That might be the home run prop value of
Barger's been
Addison Barger. He's barging his way into this lineup, and he's barging his way into not going back down to AAA anytime soon with the way he's hitting right now for the Blue Jays. So, yeah, this is Phillies team total over, and I think at 8.5, full game over is worth a look here as well. C-Mac, what do you think?
This is weird. Like, seems like probably a lot of love here at money Phillies, but this line is really dropped, to the Jays. I think it with Francis going to pitch well here. That's a big question mark. I don't know, because he's pretty good to start the year. He hasn't been great. We know he's probably not going to go deep in this game. And Sanchez has been excellent. It's made the Blue Jays that last series with all those runs kind of, you got to look at inflated a little bit. Where they were awful against lefties, but it sure shot them up. all those runs, and now they hit against the A's. So in the end, this is a game I didn't have anything in this one. I can see how people think this is kind of a spot where the Phillies could win big and go run line. I just couldn't take it here. This was off for me.
It's a very, very warm night. Temperatures are in the mid to high 80s Fahrenheit in Toronto area here in my region. I'm an hour west of Toronto, and the roof is going to be open, I believe, at Rogers Center tonight. So it's definitely hitter conditions.
I didn't see that. Is it?
It's warm here tonight, unless they call for rain, and I don't think they are. But definitely, like I said, I think that's probably why I think we could see.
You got to stay on top of it because these places only open it when it's like 80 degrees, 70. Like if it's anything, a slight chance of rain, a little bit after 85 degrees, like it's closed all the time. So all these places, but they've been, in some of these spots like Texas, 3 weeks ago, Arizona, they'll have them open. Or not very long, but, a few games they will.
Yeah, if the roof is open tonight at Rogers Center, it's definitely hitting conditions, warm and windy. So another reason that could help the over there. All right, Brewers and Reds. Reds minus 130, home favorites, 8 the total. So I've been riding the Brewers, and it's Brewers or pass. Until they lose, it's Brewers or pass. They're on a roll. 7 straight wins. They've been hitting. Their pitching's been good. Fast Freddie Peralta has been pretty rock solid for them. He's given up just 6 runs in his last 3 starts combined. The one guy, though, I don't like betting against is Hunter Green, though, for Cincinnati. It's like, I have nothing but respect for both teams here. I'm not going to take Milwaukee today, but I'm certainly not fading them and this great 7-game win streak that they're on. And the Reds just aren't hitting at the moment. That's a bit of an issue for them. They've scored just 5 runs in their last 3 games combined. So maybe an under. Now, the problem here is it's warm in Cincinnati as well, and that could lead to some hitter-friendly conditions. But Peralta's capable. Peralta has also, pitched, other than one really bad start, he's pitched very well against Cincy. Hunter Green has actually pretty solid numbers against the Brewers. This could be a pitcher's duel. The only concern is how warm it is for early June in Cincinnati. But yeah, I didn't bet it. I mean, I'm not could only take Milwaukee. But I respect Hunter Green enough that I'm not going to. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Shout out to the guy, Andrew G, Oldie, everyone in here, Redbeard, True Teller. Appreciate it, my man. Like and subscribe. Nick, Brian, everyone in here. Richard. Thanks. Yeah, this is tough. I mean, I've been the Brewers in all these games. And look, the Reds kind of pulled what they did last night. Brewers went up 3-2, and they didn't score a run the last 4 innings of that game. Like, it could be, like, when the offense goes, it could go, and when it's cold, it's just cold. For Peralta, a little bit different. I mean, he's just not the same pitcher on the road. Not he's been awful. His ERA is just under 4. But it seems like the walks always creep up with him on the road. It's like, can the Reds take advantage in it? Like, you talk about the weather and everything, but like, I only think the under here. Hunter Green, since he's been back, since he went off for just a little bit, man, the strikeouts haven't been there. But he's been okay. He's gone 5 or 6, gives it 2 earned runs his last 2 starts. But I've noticed, like, I think he's only had 2 or 3 Ks in those starts compared to, it seemed like he averaged at least 8 to start the year. So, yeah, it's hard to go off the Brewers here and take the Reds even at home at this number, minus 135.
All right, next up, we've got the Angels and Red Sox. I took a shot with the yesterday, by the way, absolutely huge day in MLB. I mean, we nailed a lot of the.
Yeah, it was a great day.
Shot with the Angels. C-Mac did well. The Twins team total couldn't have been any easier with that for best. It was a great Monday.
I got that right away.
Yeah,
Yeah, my only loss was the over.
I know, jeez, man. Same with me. I
That's
felt
how it
like
works.
one of maybe two losses I had the entire card was that Mets
Yeah.
Dodgers. But other than that, it was a great Monday night. And one of the winners was Angels in the over. And I kind of lean that way here in the game tonight with Kikuchi and Bayo. I'm not laying a price with Bayo. Bayo has just not been consistent enough, and neither is the Boston team, to be quite honest with you, to lay minus 135. In fact, if you look at just straight pitching form entering this game tonight, I think Kikuchi's in the better form right now. It's over Bayo. Bayo has been, he had the rough start against Atlanta. I guess he's been a little bit better, but still, he's not giving you length. He's only going 4 innings. Kikuchi's given up just 2 runs in his last 15 plus innings. The Angels are 4-1 in his last 5 starts. I think Angels are live again, just like they were last night here in the series opener where they hung on to win 7-6. I think they could win this one again here tonight. C-Mac, what do you think?
I think so too. I think I lean over. I haven't bet this, but I just keep going back that there's going to be runs. This seems the Kikuchi's been pretty good. And like he's consistently walks 4 or 5 guys. He's done that a lot in his career, as you know, Bavano. But I mean,
but he's got the swing
last few starts
to extricate himself.
He has at times, but I think he's due to get cracked in one of these. Now the Red Sox, some of the numbers are good against lefties. They kind of chase. They don't walk a ton. But I think they could get some off Kikuchi. But I think so can the Angels. I just, at this price, with what we're getting for Bayo on the other side, he hasn't been great. I can't take the Red Sox. So I think there's more runs. So I kind of like, Red Sox team total. Even their first 5, it's 2.5. But it's like plus 115. I think they get Kikuchi, and I think the Angels get the Bayo. So over.
All right, we got Texas, Tampa Bay next up. Tyler Mahle for the Rangers, Drew Rasmussen for the Rays. Tampa Bay minus 145 home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. With the way both of these guys are pitching, hard not to look at the under. It's very, very difficult to not look at the under. Rasmussen's just been lights out. He hasn't given up a run since May 11th. He's gone 3 starts, 18 innings scoreless streak for Drew Rasmussen here for Tampa Bay. Shutouts against Miami, Toronto, and Minnesota in his last 3 starts. Mahle just continues to be a picture of consistency. 2 runs or less in 4 of his last 5 starts, 4-1 to the under in Mahle's last 5 starts. I mean, this definitely feels like under or pass, a pitcher's duel, and 2 offenses that can be a little bit sketchy. I know Texas is started to explode a bit. They scored 11 against St. Louis and then 8 in the final game against St. Louis, but they were shut out in between. They're starting to show signs of life finally at the plate, but this is a tough matchup. Rasmussen's on pitching great right now, so I would lean under here. C-Mac, what do you think?
To start out, I don't know if this goes, or it's at least delayed. It looks like rain for about a good 3 hours, and I don't think it was this bad. It's kind of come in the last 2 hours where not till 10 o'clock. Maybe it clears up, but maybe they can get it in. Yeah, I don't know how much the Rangers, too, scoring those runs. And really was all off Munoz, who's horrible. I had the under on Sunday. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Cardinals brought him up, but, he gave up 5. He was just throwing BP, it seemed like, in that 8th inning. He gave up a few hits, sacrifice fly, and then Smith hit a 2-run bomb, and it was just over. But both these pitchers have been good. We've seen the 8s gone. That's what I like, the under. I don't know, there's 7.5 now. Both pitchers pitching well. The one thing I like the Rays, but this price, I'm just kind of off with them because the bats. I don't know if they're going to be there. Minus 145 in that range. So.
All right. Next up, as we continue along, Detroit Tigers, Chicago White Sox, Bo Brisky and Seth Smith, the pitching matchup. Tigers minus 150 road favorites, 8.5 the total. I mean, they just played. There's another good call. We thought Detroit could win comfortably yesterday. Boy, did they ever. 13-1 beat down over the Chicago White Sox.
Carpenter, a couple bombs, too.
Yeah, Kerry
No wonder why they had it priced so fucking low.
What did he eat for breakfast yesterday? Holy fuck, man. That guy was
shit.
On a roll. But yeah, just a beat down of the White Sox. Seth Smith, Shane Smith, I should say, 12 runs in his last 13.2 innings. It's not great. Not someone I'm really ready to back. The White Sox are just 1-4. What are we going to get from Brisky's going to be just the opener here. It's going to be a bullpen by committee after that, so we'll see how it goes. I'd still trust Detroit more than I trust Chicago. I liked them more yesterday. Maybe a small -1 on the run line for Detroit. I could see them winning again. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, when I look at this, I think the under. But can we trust these two teams, like you talked about, with these pitchers, and then going to be a bullpen day? There's spots I want to take the White Sox a little bit more. I just couldn't get there in the end too, but I lean under here. I think you take the under. As much as I like the Tigers the other way, the run line, I like the White Sox team total under. I've kind of continued that. They started to hit there a little bit, their last homestand, and then they went kind of right back to ice cold on that road trip before they got back home, and their team total cashed a ton. So, yeah, under, nothing here.
All right, Cardinals and the Royals. We've got Lorenzen and Palante, the starting pitching matchup here. Cardinals -150, home favorites, 8.5, up to 9 being the total. Very humid, very warm and muggy in St. Louis. Definitely hitters' conditions. Can we trust the two lineups against these pitchers is the question, because I did grab some over 8.5. It's gone up to 9, just simply because of the weather. It definitely feels like hitters' weather tonight here at Busch Stadium. Here in this game. So that's kind of why I think we could see some runs scored. It's kind of an enigma, both of these pitchers. Palante's capable of pitching well, and same with Michael Lorenzen. But it's not always consistent for either guy. Lorenzen got shelled in his last start by the Reds, and Palante didn't pitch that great in his last start against Baltimore. So a warm night. Both got Palante's given up a homer in 3 of the last 4 starts. Lorenzen's given up 6 homers in his last 5 starts. So that's another thing I factored in with the weather being what it is. And even though these offenses can be a little sketchy, Kansas City, were shut out, obviously. Final game of their 2 runs, and 1 run, I should say, in the last 2 games combined of their series against Detroit. But hoping they can do enough damage tonight and St. Louis can get their bats going. It is worth noting their last home series, they scored 14 runs in 3 games against Arizona. So maybe being back at home helps their bats get going a little bit. So, yeah, at 8.5, I took a small piece of the over. Not one of my favorite bets on the card, but I thought that was worth a shot. All right, Baltimore, Seattle. George Kirby for Seattle, and Sugano on the mound here for the Orioles. Seattle -140, home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. George Kirby, man, not where he needs to be, clearly, coming back from his stint on the IL. He's given up 11 runs in 8.2 innings. It's difficult to get behind someone with a track record like that in 2 starts. Tomoyuki Sugano's been pretty steady. He's a guy that's going to pitch 5-6 innings, give up 3 runs or so. It's basically the average type of start you get from him. Will it be enough is the question. Baltimore, it was the White Sox, so don't go crazy. But still, 3 wins in a row for Baltimore is a step in the right direction. I don't care who they're playing. I don't hate the shot with Baltimore here. Honestly, I don't. I mean, until George Kirby shows you that he can get his game back, I'm not laying -140 with him. He has not looked right since returning. 11 runs in the 8.2 innings so far for the Mariners. So I lean Baltimore here a little bit at the plus money, believe it or not. C-Mac back with us. C-Mac, what do you think here? Orioles, Mariners.
I know, traditionally, I don't know what we get with Kirby. Like, he has not looked good at all. So it's like, until he does, I think, to take a shot with the O's. But I think you take the over. Sugano's been pretty good. He's a fly ball type pitcher. Mariners, though, just at times haven't scored a ton of runs and been streaky, this team, with their bats. But, kind of lean over in this game. I don't mind the Orioles. They've been so bad. I don't want, I know they've won a few. I want to see a little bit more before I just start putting my money on them, even in a game like this, because I did look at them a ton here.
Hard not to. I mean, with Kirby's form, and look, they're but it's still not easy though to always bet on Baltimore. I get it. All right, next.
There's a few good numbers in this game too, like Henderson. It's some solid numbers. Just want to put that out against Kirby.
San Diego and San Francisco next up here. We've got that's the Mets and Dodgers. We've got Bergert and Raup, the pitching matchup. I don't even care about the pitching matchup here. San Francisco cannot hit right now. That's clear as day. They should have been able to do something last night against Kolek, and they weren't able to. The Kolek was not pitching well, and he shuts down San Francisco. Give me Padres here at this price. With that lineup and the form they're in right now, I don't care who's on the mound. Bergert, we'll see what he does for San Diego. This team can't hit a lick. I'm willing to fade them laying -160. It's really that simple. The handicap for me, taking a shot with San Diego. C-Mac, what do you think?
I think so too. And we touched on yesterday, like the Padres, had the Giants number a little bit, dating back to last year. They can't hit, I think so soon. This wind's blowing out. I'm on the under here. The under 8. I got to see both these bullpens. Roop's been pretty good. San Francisco's got one of the top bullpens. Padres, they've been right around 6 or 7. They've had some blowups, and this is basically in a bullpen game. But yeah, not only lean the Pods with that money, but I think this is another low-scoring game. Give me the under.
Yeah, I could see the under for sure. Certainly, if those two pitchers last, well, not so much Webb, but obviously Kolek was able to pitch well, then there's a chance both of these guys can pitch well here tonight in this one. All right, we got 2 games left. We've got Minnesota and the Athletics. Twins just blasted the A's are just shambles right now. We've got Lopez on the mound here for the Twins. We'll have to see. The A's were undecided. I don't think it matters who pitches for. They have no pitchers left, no good ones, that's for sure. We've got the Twins -200 road favorites. We told you yesterday, too, Severino just doesn't pitch well in Sacramento. He got absolutely crushed in that game by the Minnesota Twins. I'm running it back, C-Mac. I had 3 bets, the 3 of my strongest plays yesterday, and I used Twins team total over for best bet. I'm going to go Twins -1. Twins team total over 5.5. I got 4.5 yesterday. It's 5.5 today. They've pushed it up another run. I think it's still too low. This is an A's team that's given up 8 runs or more in 6, 7 straight games. So I still think Minnesota gets to 6 with the team total 5.5. So yeah, Twins -1, Twins team total over 5.5, and give me the over again for the full game. 9.5, 10 is where this total is. That is an over ballpark. They can't get outs. They can't get anybody out. Starters, bullpen, you name it. They can't get anybody out right now. They can't get anybody the frig out right now, this Athletics team. So yeah, I'm running it back. Same 3 as last night. We swept it with these 3 last night in this game. Twins run line, Twins team total over, full game over. C-Mac, what do you think?
And they still don't have a starter, right, here, the A's?
They don't. Unconfirmed still. Yeah.
Yeah, so does it fucking matter? I mean, I was about to say that.
The bullpen's bad, worse.
Yeah. I mean, and this has gone from 9, there's 10s.
Yeah.
Now it still should probably get there. I don't love 5.5s without plus money, but yeah, it just seems like that.
I think Osvaldo Bido is going to get the start. I think it's going to be
That's Bido. What I see.
Called him.
Yeah, I've seen that in a few spots.
5.82 ERA. He doesn't have good numbers either. Yeah, 5.82 ERA for Bido. Those numbers aren't good.
Yeah, I don't see how there's not runs. I think, and that last start, I remember he had against the Dodgers. I mean, he got just tattooed. So yeah, this goes over again. Yeah, that A's right now are going to have to, they're score 8, 7, 8 runs maybe to win a baseball game, and that hasn't really happened. Because it's Toronto series.
All right, last game. Here it is, Mets and Dodgers. How about the Mets pulling one out in extra innings? How about the fact that they couldn't hit Blackburn, for fuck's sakes, the Dodgers? For much.
Oh, yeah, but both teams left a ton on. That's what was struggling, too. I think the Dodgers went 2 for 11, and that late one was chaos. But RBI again, I think it's 7th or 8th straight. But, yeah, that was a tough watch for both teams, but really the Dodgers. Runners scored.
No doubt. Just one clutch hit to clear the bases, and it probably goes over the total. But instead, 7 runs, and it stays under last night. I'm coming back to the over here. I mean, McGill's not nearly as sharp on the road. Dodgers -140, by the way, 9 the total. McGill's not as sharp on the road. Most of his good starts are at Citi Field. I know the Dodgers didn't hit last night, but I think they could be able to have some success here against Tyler McGill here in this particular start. I'm not totally all that sold yet on Kershaw, to be honest with you. Look, he was really in trouble early against Cleveland in his last start, and Cleveland let him off the hook, bases loaded a couple of times, and then he settled in, crafty veteran pitcher, and he pitched okay. I'm not there yet with Kershaw's back, baby, and he's ready to rock here moving forward. I got to see more from Kershaw here going forward. So, yeah, the over fell short last night. I'm willing to give it another shot here tonight. CMAC, Mets, Dodgers.
I have to say, too, I think it's kind of go back to it, too. It's not a bet I've put in yet, but I've already been thinking about it. Like Kershaw seeing the Mets, he just saw him, on the 23rd. That's like it. And, he was out of there quick, before that Cleveland start. Miko, he didn't see the Dodgers, but this has been tough for him, and he's just not been the same guy on the road at times. So, and he's an Orange County type guy. Anyways, I think there could be some people, some of his family there. But that doesn't always mean he pitches well. There's a couple Dodgers I talked about. Payoffs, another RBI, he got that late to look at. But Freeman, Max Muncy, it's going to be one of my jacks. And his RBI is plus 185. 4 for 5 off him. He finally got the glasses that need to be fixed. So I think look for him. And it's like perfect kind of warm. Wind's blowing out. I think there could be runs again. Runs, this gets over, unlike yesterday where nobody could get a base knock, in that game.
And I lean Mets. I do. I lean a little bit to the Mets here, plus 120.
It's tough to take the Dodgers. It's short, but yeah, I don't want to mess with that.
Again, this is like the Yankees theory. Now, it didn't go well for the Yankees in Dodger Stadium, but the same theory here. Mets have the point to prove, not the Dodgers. Dodgers are the champs. It's the Mets that want what the Dodgers have. So from that standpoint, a little bit more of a prove-it series for the Mets than it is for the LA Dodgers here. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We'll do the roll call now. Nick Alvento, Mark A, Redbeard, Oldie, Billy Briz. Good to see Billy in the house. Good to see you. Mark A, Dram Yankee, Timmy Two Shoe. That's a good one. Andrew G, Truth Teller. Appreciate Brian Elfring, Richard S. Thanks to everyone for joining us. All right, you mentioned Jack of the Day already. I've got a couple that are of interest here for me as far as this slate is concerned. Not a bad slate. I think you can go with anybody on the Phillies because I think with the roof open, like it's supposed to be in Toronto, that makes Francis very home run prone tonight. So Schwarber, Harper, you go on down the list. I think a lot of those Phillies might be live for home runs tonight in that one. Ohtani's value is not really great, but he continues to just be outstanding, mashing the baseball with great success for the LA Dodgers, no doubt. And he has homered in the past against Miguel. Meanwhile, you look at the 8 Twins and A's. There could be some homers in that game, certainly that stand out as potential game where we could see some fireworks there in that one, no doubt. And then, of course, those are the main. As far as Twins and A's, Rooker, really Lawrence Butler, man, the Butler did it. I think he got one last night in the game too against Minnesota.
And the Twins.
Yeah.
Look for Wallner or France. Those that
Wallner, France, Royce the 5'9", Lewis.
Royce the 5'9".
See if he can get going as well. So it definitely feels like could be some home run potential in that game as well. All right, let's wrap the show up with best bets. CMAC, best bet. What do you got?
Yeah, on the Jacks, Woods I talked about earlier. You hit on those. The Dodgers, Muncy and Freeman. I might be on both. Like Freeman plus 450, Muncy plus 375. I talked about it under 8, minus 112. I got Giants, Padres. Give me the under, baby.
All right, there you go. Giants, Padres under for Connor Mack for best bet for this Tuesday MLB card. Best bet for me, lots to choose from here. Let me see here. I'm going to go to that Phillies Jays over 8.5. Let's do that one. That's a pretty. That's up there as one of my top plays of the night for sure. But the roof open, I think we'll see. And Toronto suddenly, maybe part of this is because the A's have been just terrible, but they're starting to score runs, go over the total in their games. I could see it again tonight. So let's go with that. Phillies, Blue Jays over 8.5, minus 115 for best bet. Shout out to the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Again, we got another show for you coming up tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, off Thursday, and then back on Friday to wrap up the week. So make sure you join us again tomorrow. Great stuff for Connor Mack. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.